Tom, you know, the Republicans, and we just heard from a very conservative voice from the Cato Institute says, look, SCOTUS blinked, right, that they capitulated and they didn't want to cause a political firestorm, and Chief Justice Roberts and Kennedy, they blinked. How do you react to that?
Well, I think that's an erroneous interpretation. What the Supreme Court did in this case is what they do oftentimes. They looked at the entire bill. They looked at the whole context of the legislation and the law as it is enacted. And when you look at the entire law, there is absolutely no doubt that this is the only interpretation one could make. There was only a 4-line discrepancy that could have been corrected in a technical corrections bill at some point that never got attention. So this finally puts this matter to rest, and I am delighted. 6.5 million people can exhale at long last.
But does it really put this issue to rest, Tom? I mean, could this still not be fought in other jurisdictions?
Obviously, it can still be fought, but I don't think there's any stomach in the courts any longer for further contesting of this issue. The Supreme Court has ruled now not once but twice in favor of the Affordable Care Act. I have every expectation that we're going to move on from this. This really puts to rest the efforts to repeal, either legally or legislatively, the Affordable Care Act. It is here to stay, and millions of additional Americans will benefit from the exchanges as we go forward.
How do you think this will play out in 2016?
Well, I think that the Republicans are going to be hard-pressed to say that they want to repeal the act once you've got the kind of expanded effort through the exchanges and through Medicaid that we've seen just in recent years. It becomes harder and harder to do. And, of course, they have yet to come up with an alternative. Because they have no alternative, my guess is you're going to see the Republican rhetoric change to one which says we've got to reform it, we've got to tweak it, we've got to make some changes. But I think they're going to give up on this effort to repeal.
Well, and you know, that is something that, you know, that is an option, although, you know, as we heard from Michael Cannon, he wanted to completely reform it still. So there will be that sort of hardcore conservative wing that is going to continue to fight for that. But, you know, in terms of areas of repair, I mean, the president himself has often noted that, look, you know, this is not this is not the perfect solution, but it is what we have to address the fact that there are millions of Americans who don't have health care. So are there going to be areas where the Republicans and the Democrats can agree in the coming years that they can fix, parts of Obamacare that they can fix?
Absolutely. I am very confident that you're going to see the real possibility of Republicans and Democrats coming together on a number of things, on payment reform, moving away from fee-for-service, on putting more emphasis on technological applications to health, including precision medicine and population health, on finding ways to emphasize the opportunities for better access through technology like telehealth. There are all kinds of possibilities for Republicans and Democrats to come together, and I think this really will trigger an effort to do just that.
Tom, you can't see this, but on our screens right now, we see some folks coming out of the courtroom chanting and clearly with their arms raised in the air, victorious in this decision. What did you make of Chief Justice Roberts and Kennedy siding with the majority, Tom?
Well, I'm not really surprised, frankly. I think Chief Justice Roberts in particular, but Justice Kennedy as well, are both pragmatists. They both understand the implications of some of these things, not only legally and politically, but practically. And I think as pragmatists, they really want to see our country address these challenges and want to contribute in a way that is both judicious as well as appropriate from a practical point of view. They've done that again in this case, and I think they're going to be served well in history.
All right, Tom Daschle, thank you so much. The former Democratic senator, a Senate leader, and also, as I mentioned, an ally of the president on Obamacare. Well,